Hey, everybody, we are live. Welcome to our mastermind for Monday, the 30th of November, 2020. John Lavenia here with you to pump you up. We're going to have to see who we got here so far. I see Mark laughing. We were just having a conversation before we went live about Chichen Itza. Maybe we'll get Evelyn Smith out here to talk a little bit about her adventures and Mayan sacrifice and all this. I see Adrienne, Coila, Janet, Ace, Ivier. Of course, there's Evelyn Smith, Julia. Good to see Suzanne, Cam Coral. Ollie's here. Good to see you, Ollie. Therese, Adrian J. Good to see you, brother. Khalid and Sandra's here. Jamie Young. Look at the Llama King, the birthday boy, Stuart. Hello, sir. And we got Nancy, Sandra. Welcome, Mandy. Oh my goodness, everyone's here. Mary and Bill and Alexandria. All right, good. So, and that's all I can see on the screen. Oh, there's Susie. I see Susie. So, why don't we do this? Why don't we start with something fun? I know it's not Fun Friday, but we can have fun whenever we want, right? We don't break the rules. We make the rules. That's right. That's right. So, Evelyn, I'm going to put you on the spot. Evelyn, are you still in the Yucatan Peninsula? Or are you back where is Evelyn right now? Kind of like a Where's Waldo thing. Let's get Evelyn.
I'm here.
Hi, Evelyn.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
So since your camera's not on, we cannot deduce your location. Where are you?
I'm sorry. I'm taking a walk down a trail right now.
Oh, are you in the Yucatan Peninsula right now?
No, I'm in Rockland, California.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you just experienced some worldliness, and I think that's why am I gravitating towards that right now? Because you were just telling me about your experience touring, Mayan ruins, which is really cool. I've done that a couple times. But the fact that most of us aren't traveling right now makes you very, very special. You traveled. So you want to tell us a little bit more about what it's like traveling in November 2020?
Oh, you got to do something. I can't just not live my life. Mm-hmm. So we were very careful. And we went to a place where everybody was very careful because their whole livelihood depends on tourism.
Right.
And we, you just have to make the right decisions. For example, instead of going on a tour with a bus full of people, we hired a private guide like you did, John. And we had a fantastic time. And we went to Chichen Itza, these ruins. And, it was good to do something that gave me a flash into a time and space that was totally a different time. Thousands of years ago, this city was founded in 200 AD. So, and vacated about 1200 something AD over warfare. The dominant theory now is these different factions of these different royal families were fighting over power of the city, domination of that city. And so they all killed each other in battle. And so it just, it gave me perspective on my own life. And from a practical point of view, now I'm back and I feel totally refreshed.
Right.
I just feel like that was a really good thing for me to do.
Fantastic. Well done. We're glad you did that. I just posted a picture for everyone to see.
That's what I was looking at right there.
The main pyramid there. There's a couple smaller structures as well. But yeah. Congratulations. You got out, you did something that's good. One of the things Evelyn just mentioned, which isn't our topic for today, but thank you again, Evelyn, for sharing with us, is that these people, their whole economy was based on tourism, or is based on tourism. And I remember, of course, living in Arizona, right? I mean, the next state south of me is Sonora, which is Mexico. It's a different country, right? So I've walked across the border to Nogales many times, right? We lived in Tucson for 10 years, we'd walk across Nogales, we'd park on the US side, just walk across. There's open air bazaars. You'd buy your trinkets, you'd walk back across, you'd wave at the customs guy. Yes, I'm a US citizen. You walk in with all your stuff. In fact, really the only question they would ask would be, do you have any prescription drugs? And of course the answer is no. I suppose whether you do or don't. But a lot of people go down there to buy less expensive drugs. Now, of course, we've got some changes coming to the U.S. Pharmaceutical business here, which some people are happy about. Customers are happy about. Citizens are. Anyway, but the idea that you as a tourist, right? Or that what they would call gringo, right? I guess that's a derogatory term, right? Gringo, whatever. I never took it seriously. Yeah, I'm a gringo. We come and spend our gringo money, right? You want us to do that. So here we are with our gringo money. But the idea of somehow harming a tourist was like, that is the worst stuff you could ever possibly do. I remember when there was some negative press because of gang wars and stuff going on. Just think about the perspective right now. Okay, this has nothing to do with e-commerce and a lot of the stuff that we're involved in. But think about the perspective right now. You've got these rival drug lords, and they're killing each other, and tourists gets caught in the crossfire. What kind of press is that coming back to Gringo Central, right? Back to the United States. That is not good press, right? And so you want to see, police action, crackdown, and all that. That's the kind of stuff that I remember hearing about. And we're going back a few years, but still, in this case, we have something in very much real time where the tourism industry has been stunted, I would imagine, right? I'm not in that industry, but less people are flying, less people are traveling. So this is a precious customer. And what alternative do they have? Can they do virtual tours? Can they jump on Zoom and say, we're going to tour Chichen Itza with you right now? You can probably go on YouTube and do that right now and not pay 1 cent. But if you want to actually have the experience, right, you got to get your ass to Quintana Roo and do it, right, with people for real, with your body on location, right? So that has to happen, and you've got to be able to be safe and then get back. And I'm thinking about all the problems right now that we as online business people and entrepreneurs, all the problems we don't have, all the alternatives we do have. And there is the topic, all the alternatives. What will you do? It's the last day of November, at least where I sit. If you're in Australia listening to this on recording or something, it's already December 1st by the time you see this, because it's the middle of the night for you. But the alternatives, of which we have many, that can be a blessing and a curse, can it? One of the things that Evelyn brought up just before we went live, we were just kibitzing a little bit, sidebar here, was that they would have these tournaments, the Mayan people, and they would have this arena, and they would throw the ball through the hoop in the wall, and whoever was the champion gets beheaded, and they get sacrificed to the gods. Yay, what a great honor. You won the game. You get to die now. So that's an interesting thing, right? That I personally, I don't get the logic of it. They did for however long that lasted, right? I don't think they're doing that anymore. Now they're just doing tours of where that stuff happened. But I've got lots of things that I could do that could help me win the game, so to speak. And because I've got variety, because I've got options, because unlike the tourist people right now, right, where their economy is based on getting you there with your money to spend money, right? Unlike that environment, okay, and I'm speaking, from a third party view, right? I'm not in that world, so I can't speak from experience. But I think I've got more options than people in that industry. I suspect you do too. And here we are at the end of November, beginning of December, preparing to have a 2021. Yes, the world will keep spinning. We talked about this last week. The world will keep turning, assuming that, right? I mean, that's a fairly safe assumption. Okay. We're going to have to produce something in 2021. We're going to continue to survive. When we win our games of business and e-commerce and life, right? We don't get beheaded, right? We get to continue having the game. It's a different approach. I think it's a better approach. Okay. So since we're going to continue to have the game, since we're going to continue to participate and show up on the field and have a field to show up on, we've got to decide which games are we going to play. I had a conversation yesterday, and I think this is going to be very instructive for everyone. I had a conversation yesterday with my wife. We do this thing. We should do it every week. We haven't been, but we did it this week. And my goodness, what a great exercise it is. And it's called a life plan. A life plan. So this is based on the book by, oh my goodness. This is the second time I've attempted to refer to this book, and it didn't make that much of an impression on me. Let me find it real quick. I think it's on my shelf somewhere right here. I'm gonna have to find it, but it's a book by two co-authors, And it's kind of, I would say, a watered down version of Steve Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. For those of you who read Steve Covey, he talks about setting your roles. Like, here are my roles in life. I'm a husband, I'm a father, blah, 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 businessman, community leader, whatever these roles are that you've chosen for yourself. It's a very self-determined thing, right? And here are the actions that I take. And here's the best version of me. Here's my mission statement as it relates to my roles. Okay, well, it's the same kind of an exercise where you actually take inventory of, here are my different roles, what they call accounts. Here's my family account, business account, spiritual, physical fitness, whatever's important to you. You know, what are these accounts for living, so to speak? And then what is the ideal scene? So go ahead and write that out. What is your future ideal, like how you want to show up in the world and to yourself, of course, right? And then what quantifiable actions could you take to move you in that direction? What things could you do to move yourself in that direction? Damn it, I've got to find this book. Living Forward, I think was the title of it. Living Forward. And all right, for anybody who can find that, let me know. Living Forward are the words that's coming up for me. Somebody can hit Amazon real quick and see if I'm right. 2 authors, 2 guys, and they started like a performance, coaching and corporate, consulting to get corporations doing this, right? So it's not just about you, John, sitting there being alone and, figuring out what your life is about. What is the mission of this? Thank you, Stuart. I was expecting Stuart to deliver something. Yes, there it is. Daniel Harkavy and Michael Hyatt. That's the book, Living Forward. Easy read compared to like 7 Habits. Easy read. But it was based on this book that I was doing this exercise. So anyway, back to the original point. So my wife and I do this thing, which is on our calendar now to do every week, every Sunday. And it's kind of like a sharpening the saw type of activity, which is the 7th habit of highly effective people, according to Steve Covey. But it's a review, a weekly review and planning moving forward, right? Here's what's working. Here's what we can do this week. So it's inventory and it's, scheduling to a degree. And one of the things that I noticed when I was having this conversation with my wife, and we're very, forthcoming with each other. We don't have secrets, right? It's like, I know what you did. I know what you didn't do, right? I'm not going to hide my integrity or lack thereof, right? I mean, you can see how I live my life. So it's kind of hard to be, dishonest with that. But anyway, some of the things that we talk about is, what, I didn't do that. That was a flunk. I flunked on that action that I wrote down. Look, I wrote it down. This is my inventory. These are my directives that I gave to me, and I flunked on that one. I did pretty good there. I crushed it on that one. That's great. So it's inventory, and it's about progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. And on that note, right, the idea of alternatives. And unlike the people in the tourist world who don't have alternatives per se, well, I guess they can go get some. Okay. But we've got lots of alternatives. In other words, when I look at all the roles I have in my life, and I would venture that you're busy too, right? It's not just me, but we've got all these different roles. We got all these different things we could do that we could do. Yes, we could. Of course we could, but do we? Will we moving forward, right? Great question. Great question. I've said many times that you want to kill a bunch of time and get nothing done. Just practice indecision. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, right? Inertia, object at rest, tends to stay at rest. I've been that object in various parts of my life. Through much of my life, I've been that object at rest. Just today, I had all these things I could do, all these alternate activities, all of which are important enough, right? But you know what I put off until the last possible minute? Exercise. And you guys know I'm all about the exercise, right? That's one of my accounts, so to speak, is my physical fitness, right? So training, use the body. You fed the body, you rested the body, use the body, right? Do something. And it's so easy to not do something because I'm busy, right? I got all these other things to do. So I had like 15 minutes before I had to get ready to jump on here with you. I got my daughter, she's on the school thing. She's doing Zoom. She's doing the virtual class. And she couldn't figure out the microphone. So we had to reset the microphone. That's all set. And I did like 15 minutes of exercise, just calisthenics, body, gravity, floor, do it, right? Got a pull up bar, hanging on one of the doors, do it. And I did it. And as soon as I did it, I was like, man, I did it. That feels good. High integrity action. And I noticed instantly I was moving faster, instantly. So the inertia, or the mild state of dread, if you will, right? I'm going to go put my body in pain now. I'm going to go get uncomfortable. I'd rather be comfortable. I've got coffee right here. Look at this. I've got coffee, right? I got electronics. I can look. I can let somebody else produce. I can be the consumer. I could just sit here and read. I can read the news. God forbid. I can look at pictures. I can watch YouTube videos. Man, that's so much fluffier than hitting the deck and doing some push-ups. But how do I want to show up throughout my day? So you see, I just put myself out of my comfort zone and into a state of momentum instead of inertia. Actually, inertia can go either way. So positive inertia, right? An object in motion tends to stay in motion. That's the other side of inertia. Excuse me. In other words, I overcame the friction, got stuff moving because I had choices in my life. Now, this sounds maybe too simple, maybe too simple, but I've hit this before and I'll hit it again. What is the thing you want to do least? What is the thing that you practice avoidance on? I'm asking myself now. And for me, we're going through the life thing with the life plan with my wife, and looking at the things that repeatedly, because I do have a memory, repeatedly I have flunked. Repeatedly I have come up short. Repeatedly I knew that I could have done more, or I could have done something, but I allowed myself to stay in a state of inertia. In other words, I did not engage those alternative actions. Yes, there are things I could do that are different than the things that I've done up to this point. And I wrote them down. I know enough that I could do them. It's not like I'm ignorant. Okay. And yet I've fallen short. Now, we could take this to neurotic extremes. Oh, woe is me, or I'm so terrible. What did Ralph Emerson say? Of what use to make heroic vows of amendment if the same old lawbreaker is to keep them? Ooh, right? So who's showing up to do this work? We got a new year coming up here in a month, right? Who's going to show up for that year? Now, you don't need the calendar to tell you that it's new year. It's time for you to suddenly have resolve. Even though you've had no resolve up to this point, suddenly you're going to have a New Year's resolution. You're going to be a changed person. Bullshit. No, right now, meaning right now, what alternative actions that are more resourceful than the ones you've taken up to this point, more resourceful, meaning they could bear more fruit. In other words, you actually get gratification from it too. It's not drudgery. Once I did the exercise, I was like, yeah, I feel good. There's gratification, instant gratification with that. That doesn't mean that, I suddenly look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but there's instant gratification in doing the right thing. And you've got to have that, especially in these times where there's so much opportunity for new paths, which include deferred gratification. You don't get the fruit on the tree in 15 minutes, but you've got to be able to recognize and honor yourself and acknowledge yourself for having done something, some high integrity action. There is joy in work, right? So what things can we take to a done? And this is so basic. And I know many of us, we've talked about this before. Is there some little piece that you can do? Let's say you're in the e-commerce world. Is there some piece of product research that you can take to a done and make a determination, yes or no, I'm pursuing that product? A no is a done. A yes is a done. Either way, that's a done. Maybe stuck. I hate maybe. Maybe is crazy. If you want to see people stuck in a chronic, never-ending maybe, you can go to a mental institution and look at people talking to themselves and punching the wall and everything else. They are stuck in some reality that is never a yes or no. So like, yes or no? What are we going to do? Are we going to get this done, or are we not going to get this done? Is there something you can take to a done in your life? That doesn't mean perfect. So back to my life plan thing, I'm talking with my wife, and one of the things that has come up for me again and again and again and again and again, just in case you guys were thinking I'm perfect, here's the big reveal. I'm not, okay? Here's where I have fallen down again and again. Promotion. I can easily, talking about alternative actions, I can bury myself in work for hours and get results. I'm really good, really good at some things, right? And I can get really good results doing these things, which are comfortable because I've been doing them for years and years and years and years and years. and I can almost do it in my sleep. In my case, that's sales, no problem. Um, and so a lot of I do consulting work, right? And we've got this thing that's about to start receiving traffic, and we're going to have a bunch of new members coming our way who are also interested in the personal development and the masterminding and the things that we do here, and just being confident and more able to do their business, right? What they want to do. So that's nice. I can deliver on that. I can deliver. Yes, I can. But what do we know about modern times? That they're constantly changing, right? And different methods of promoting yourself, right? Whether that's social media, podcasting, YouTube channels, and all kinds of different websites and email marketing and radio, TV spots, et cetera, et cetera. There's lots of different things that people do to expand their reach, to expand their list, right, of potential buyers. And something my friend Grant Cardone said is that best known beats best. Best known beats best. I know we've mentioned this before, right? Which to me is another way of saying imperfect and done beats perfect and not done. When it comes to promotion, marketing, put yourself out there into the marketplace. Use alternative things that you've not done before. Choose new things. Choose new actions because they are on purpose and in the direction of where you said you wanted to go. Okay, great. So are you going to do that perfectly? No. And this is the thing that has stopped me again and again, is the idea that I've got to be perfect, is the idea that there's all these moving parts and it's got to be very complicated. And I remember I went through this course, and this is why, in our modern times where you can have information at your fingertips, you can go spend $1,000 right now or more on courses that will teach you how to do this, that, and such, right? And that unnecessarily complicate for the newcomer how to engage in my case, online marketing and promotion. Okay. Certainly some people would say, John, you're already an expert in that area. Well, compared to the person who knows nothing, yeah, I'm a friggin' monster. Okay. But compared to some of these real monsters, no, I'm all right. But no, not like some of these people. But I can go take that course right now. And I've got, oh my goodness, I don't want to tell you how many of them I've bought. We can call this shiny object syndrome, by the way. Oh, I need the new secrets. Oh, they got the magic elixir. They cracked the code. Right. I mean, that never ends. I mean, that's good marketing. That's good marketing. You got a secret? Yeah, sell me your secrets, right? That's good marketing. So they're doing it. But everything that we do, every new skill has a gradient. If you're interested in something, you've got some degree of aptitude for it, but you don't have the whole picture yet, right? So you got to get on that path, and you got to do the simple things that get us little wins, little gratifications, little duns, right? Otherwise, if we're looking at the whole mountain, here's the whole mountain of alternatives that I could engage in. Ooh, inertia. This is comfortable. I can go do this. I can go and then fill in the blank with whatever you can do in your sleep, right? Which can pay the bills and keep the lights on that night. That's nice. But where's the evolution in that? Where's the leverage in that? Where's the exit strategy in that? Again, unlike the Mayans, we are planning to win this game and to continue having games, right? We're not checking out because we won this game. So in this case, am I looking at the whole mountain, or can I just take bite-sized chunks? Here's something I just recently engaged in, and it's something that I'm doing out of I think civic responsibility and public interest. I'm interested, and survival and everything else. I think Stuart will and Mark could appreciate this. Ham radio. Ham means amateur. So amateur radio, and it's a licensed gig, right? I mean, you can get the equipment, you can do it, you can listen, but if you're going to transmit, you've got to have a license. It's controlled by the Federal Communications Commission, and there's international commissions on radio transmissions, and it's all very specific and precise and useful. Disaster, emergency response, right? All this kind of stuff. Hey, the grid goes down. There's no internet. What are you going to do? Communications, Mark, right? You could be pretty good on the, on the bank switch, but who you're shooting and where are you going, right? Where you regroup? So you got to be able to, you got to have your comms. Here we are living on the internet, right? In fact, one of the things I say to one of my business groups that I work with, an e-commerce shopping club group, one of the first things when they're getting on board is set up your comms, right? We use Telegram, encrypted instant messenger. Here's the Facebook groups. Here's how to use Zoom if you've never used Zoom before, right? If you're out of communication, you are out of business, right? And I'm like, look at me, all reliant and dependent on these interwebs and Wi-Fi and electricity. Oh, how naive, right? Not that I'm a doomsday prepper or anything like that, okay? But we got food and water and ammo and everything else. But I don't have the comms, right? Even if I can go spend money on the comms right now. I can have toys, nice, and I can listen, whatever, okay? But am I going to participate, right? How am I going to serve my fellow man with that if I can't even participate, right? So now I'm studying to get a license, right? And it's an enormous body of work, right? Since Marconi did this whole, wireless thing, there's been some progress in that area. There's a ton of information on radio waves and frequencies and lengths of antennas and oh my goodness. And so it's a whole world out there. Now, I haven't accomplished it yet. I'm not licensed, not yet, but I'm closer to being licensed than I was at 11 p.m. last night because I read another chapter in the damn manual, which is going to lead up to the taking the course or the examination. And so I'm getting closer there. And so I've got a better understanding. I've had some wins in that area, just in my own personal gratification and knowing this, right? I can pass a few of those questions now that are going to come up on the exam. I can do that, right? Actually, a lot of the electrical stuff I already knew because, I used to be a automotive and diesel diagnostician. I know a lot about electrical circuits, but not that we use that here. You see that? If that was like the tourist industry, right? If that was my only angle, right? I got to go be an electrician now. I got to go be an electronics guy, right? Well, then I don't have as many alternatives. We got lots of alternatives. So my question to myself and to everyone then is, what am I willing to do to engage in this new, possibly more fruitful method or methods? What am I willing to do and actually put on my calendar? Oh my goodness, John, put it on my calendar. Everything that I saw that I had flunked in on my life plan were things that I had failed to schedule on my calendar because work expands to fill the time allowed for it. Was that Parkinson's law? One of those guys. Work expands to fill the time allowed for it. So while it's easy for me to do certain things which are comfortable and I'm really good at, I can do that all day and never get to these other things that can move me forward. Study the damn manual to get your ham radio license, right? Go to the gym, right? Or fill in the blank with whatever it is for you. This is, my life, okay? But you got to be able to relate this to your life. What is it for you that you could add to your calendar? Like there's a block of time. It's not white space. It's not arbitrary. It's there. It's the truth. It's on my calendar. If it's not written, it isn't so, right? It's on my calendar now. I shall do it. Almost sounds too simple. By the way, Adrian Garner, I'm putting all this into the redux of the program that you and I were talking about. That's going to be coming out. That's got to come out. That has to see the light of day. Adrian knows what I'm talking about. It's a whole productivity course to help you accomplish more in a week than most people accomplish in a couple of years. That sounds bold, I know. But again, on the gradient, right? If most people aren't even making an effort, you right here, just that far up, are like a monster compared to that, right? Of course, there's more mountain to climb. Okay. But that's the other beautiful thing about engaging at the outset, right? Really engaging and deciding at the outset. The beautiful thing is that the gains that you see are so dramatic. Like when I first started lifting weights, I was a skinny kid. I grew up on the streets of New Jersey, 140 pounds, ribs sticking out, right? That was my reality, right? When I first learned how to lift weights and go to the gym with these meatheads and get big and strong, I gained 15 pounds of solid muscle in like 90 days. Bam, there it was. Try doing that now. Oh, right. But at the outset, right? You could see huge gains, big contrast when you've done nothing, right? Then it gets a bit harder, at least in terms of growing muscle. Not to mention the whole age thing, right? Anyway, I've talked for a half hour. I'm not sure how that happened, but I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about this because I refuse to have as fruitful as 2020 has been for myself and for many of us, right? Yeah, we've had challenges. We've also had wins. A lot of people, your stats are up, okay? But I refuse to have 2021 be a repeat of 2020. Friggin' refuse. And it starts now. I don't give a damn what the calendar says. November 30th, fine. Happy New Year, everybody. Who else has an idea on this? Let's go ahead and get these microphones open. Otherwise, I'm going to talk for a friggin' hour. Oh my goodness, John, you talk. and talk. I guess that's why everybody shows up. Please keep talking. Okay, who wants to? Who else wants to talk? Let's raise some hands. Let's get this show on the road. Unless I put everybody to sleep, that I guess that's a possibility. Oh, it is the birthday boy. Hey, birthday boy. How you doing, Stuart?
Oh man, how how appropriate and how timely for me, in particular. Even the concept of Happy New Year to me is more of a personal year cycle than, let's say, the regular day that we celebrate New Year's, right? So for me, the last few weeks in particular have really been pretty introspective and reflective, very much an inner journey, let's say. You know, all the external work that we do and how wonderful it is to share this space and share ideas, right? We all know that the real work takes place inside, right? So I feel like I've crawled into the cave or the womb of myself, of my mind, right? And I've really gone through a big period of introspection, reflection, thinking about, you know, what this means on the let's say on the ending part of the cycle and what that means on the beginning part of the cycle. So I really I appreciate you bringing this up today, because it's kind of right. It's really right where I'm at right now, and trying to figure out you know, what that new version of myself is going to be for this coming year. So it really is a powerful moment for me, for sure. Um, Talked about tourism, dude. I mean, that just was like hit me right here, man, because, you know, that's been my gig. And I got to say, I'm really grateful that in the beginning of this year, pre-COVID, um, albeit due to physical issues and limitations, you know, we made a decision, Leah and I, to not operate this year. And it was really before the whole COVID thing came down. And so for us to have made a decision to create an alternative or pursue an alternative, like you're talking about, has really been the story of the last 8 months of our lives. So that really rings true with me. And even what you're talking about, a life plan and taking inventory, I really do feel like that's where I've been. And every time you talk about the different accounts of our lives, that really rings true with me as well, whether it's husband, father, ranchero, tour guide, e-commerce guy, whatever it is, right? We all have these different accounts, these different aspects of our lives that we need to put energy and attention into. And I think, you know, it's easy to sort of nurture one at the expense of the other, right? And the challenge, I think, is to um, be good to all the different aspects of ourselves, be excellent to ourselves,
Mm.
as Ted would say. Um, this, you know, I'm going through a bit of a maybe as well. And it's an interesting concept for me because, you know, in the last 30 years, I've been a permitted outfitter with the Forest Service, with the BLM. And now those guys are asking me, you know, to renew my permit for next year, right? And so I'm in this place of, uh, I don't want to say indecision, but I'm definitely in a place of weighing out my options, contemplating what you know, what action we want to take with this, because there's a part of me that feels like there's opportunities there that I don't want to close the doors on. And so maybe some of you guys are going through this, and I will be making a decision about whether or not I'm going to be operating as a tour company, as a guide, pretty soon, because I have to. So that's an interesting thing that you mentioned that really just rung true for me. And then the ball game, dude, and the pyramids, and Evelyn, and how cool. We Leah and I and Sasha a few years back went to the Mayan Riviera in Quintana Roo, and we went to Chichen Itza, we went to Tulum, and I was just being, you know, a student of ancient megalithic structures and ancient cultures and things like that. Just how amazing that people thousands of years ago had knowledge and understanding of the cosmos and of the stars, and the things that immediately hit me. And Bill was talking about, I think it was Newgrange. You know, there's this solar mathematics that's infused in all of these ancient megalithic structures, right? I was talking about on the solstices, on the pyramid of Kukulkan, where the snake, which is a shadow, climbs down the side. This happens on both solstices, where the shadow comes down the side of the pyramid and then back up, right? And, again, people knew so much thousands of years ago that we just do not or did not give people credit for, how the Great Pyramids were built and things like that. What I find interesting is that, and this is just what it brings up for me, is that the mathematics and the geometry of the pyramids around the world, whether you're talking about the Mayan pyramids or the pyramids at Giza, the pyramids at Teotihuacan, all are in, what would you say, in scale alignment to the 3 stars in the belt of Orion. And they all point at Sirius, right? So there's all this ancient knowledge that was coded into all these ancient structures. And I'm just fascinated by it. And I think we can learn so much from ancient cultures about the world that we live in. Anyway, thanks, man. Get stuff done.
Yeah, let's get it done. And Stuart, I think you and I deserve to have a little bit of one-on-one time, because I will tell you, and I don't know if this means anything in terms of your BLM license or whatever, the logistics are for that, but I will tell you that you've got 100 people, 100 members of this group who, as soon as we are able, we're going to Taos and we're packing llamas with you. So if that's what you need a license to do, then get that license. Yeah, and we'll all kick in if it's a couple $100 or whatever it is. Because damn it, we are going to Taos. Hey, Ivier, what is going on with you?
Hello, John. Hi, everyone. I think like Stuart, I mean, every year my birthday is kind of like the start of a new year for me. So I tend to take the last maybe 3 or 4 days leading into my birthday, and historically I switch off and I just refocus, and I try and map out a plan. So first I grade myself, I evaluate myself on how well I've done in the last 12 months. So with everything that I set the birthday before, did I achieve that? How well did I do? Where did I drop the ball? And that gives me the start of the focus for the new year. But I take 3 or 4 days out. Usually I go on a personal retreat, so I shut out the world, and I journal quite a bit. I meditate a lot. I spend a lot of time in prayer. And in fact, I just go for walks in nature. And I write down whatever thoughts come to me. I write down however I feel. And I come out of that 3-4 day period with a very, I think, structured list of things that I want to accomplish in the next 12 months. So that's when my year starts in September, when my birthday is. And so I have my professional, objectives. I have personal, I have my family. I have, now, of course, this year for the first time was, I think, concentrated business side. And then I have skills that, I've always wanted to pick up and haven't had time for, and I make out that time for. So I come out with the various areas, and I just say, for the next 12 months, this is what I'm going to focus on. So I don't wait till Christmas or the new year to actually have a plan of action on what I want to do. But what I found this year is I'm probably going to be doing, I will be doing this twice. So yes, I did it in September, but I will be doing it again as we go into December and start a proper calendar year, a new calendar year. That's because I've been reading stuff of recent, and it's kind of like giving myself permission to dream again, in a sense, and just say, if everything was as it should be, so if the day-to-day needs were all taken care of, where do I want to be in the next 12 months? So that's outside of, it's kind of like stretching it a bit from what I usually do in September. This is kind of like dreaming and just saying, what are those big things that are likely to stretch me, that are likely to probably make me uncomfortable and wonder if I can achieve those. So they're really big things. I mean, they're things that are bigger than myself. And yeah, it probably keeps me awake at night, because I just know on my own, by myself, and with what I have now, there's no way I can hit those, right? So I think for the first time in a long time, I'm stretching myself this year. And so what you said today is it's bringing all of that together. And it's just giving myself permission to just dream, to say, what is it that I want to do? And it's just amazing. I mean, there are a few things that I've already put in practice in the last 6 to 8 weeks, just from reading Think and Grow Rich. And I'm already seeing some things come back. I mean, I haven't gone soliciting certain things that have come my way, but I've got a contract now that I've got to do in December. I mean, I didn't go looking for it. People actually approached me and said, can you help us out here? So I've done that. And then the few other things that have come through, just from me having specific affirmations to do with revenue streams, specific affirmations to do with, work-wise. I mean, like today, I got 2 separate bits of communication from one, my director, and 2, somebody even higher up in the organization, just sending me a message to say, well done. Now, these are not people I talk to on a daily basis, but clearly word has gotten round, not from me, but from other quarters. They've seen something I've worked on. They've seen a paper I've written, something, and they've reached out to me today to say, great job, well done. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a personal relationship with these 2 men in the organization, right? But for me, it's just showing that if you let yourself, 1, dream, 2, you set specific goals, sometimes without you even promoting yourself, because you've thought those thoughts and you put it out there, things are just going to come back to you. So it does help to just, be that focused. And so what you're saying today is just, it's just spot on for me. It's just bringing a lot of things, home and just crystallizing a lot of thoughts for me. So thank you, John.
Well, thank you, Ivier. By the way, Ivier is going to be, just a little housekeeping, Ivier is going to be co-hosting, co-facilitating on Wednesdays or every other Wednesday, as our friend Ego Obi has been contracted to do some work which conflicts with that time. So yeah, so get ready for Wednesdays or every other Wednesday with Ivier, and I got very high expectations for you, Ivier. Of course,
Thank
you got
you,
big
John.
shoes to fill with Ego. My goodness, Ego brings the fire, doesn't she? She's amazing.
She does.
Yeah,
Shoes to
yeah,
fill.
good,
Yeah.
good stuff. And also on Wednesdays we have our life and business tools with Adrian Garner. So Ego also likes to participate with that. So that's going to be just Adrian moving forward, and that's going to be every other week. So I may put something else, by the way, I didn't get your feedback on all this, but I was thinking about kind of along the lines with what Stuart does with his adventures in mindset, which is today, right? No, that's tomorrow. Today's e-commerce work group. We got so many things on the calendar, right? But maybe something along the lines of Stuart, I'm going to have to consult with you, man. Maybe survival stuff, maybe like get with Mark. I don't know what you guys want to do. What can we do on Zoom, right? We could talk about preparedness, and I mean, I'm learning ham radio. I could show you what I'm learning, right? I could certainly show you like weapons training and stuff, although we're not going to be able to go to a firing range on Zoom. Anyway, just thinking out loud here. We may do something every other Wednesday opposite Adrian, every other Wednesday on Life and Business Tools. Before we go to our next speaker, which is Adrian, I'm going to also mention that today, of course, we have our hospitality suite, which is always open. We do have e-commerce work group with Stuart Wild, 7:30 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. And then tonight, we're going to wrap up at 9 p.m. Eastern with chapter 13 of Think and Grow Rich on the brain, chapter on the brain. Adrian Garner has the floor. Adrian, sir.
Oh, thank you, John. Yes, we didn't coordinate today, but I'm going to follow up on exactly this topic tomorrow. And it's great. It must have been in the ether, John, because following your throwing a thought grenade into the discussion on Friday night, I was thinking the same things. You really hit us with it, as you like to do, just gently dropping that into the conversation on Friday. A lot of people missed it, and it wasn't recorded because it was the Be Heard session. But I think your message, John, really about thinking big and thinking practical. John was there actually looking at real examples of real things that are being sold, real companies and why they're not selling, what we can do to perhaps sell the things they're not selling or look for other opportunities. So I think it really, 2021, it's all out there. And John was pulling up numerous examples of stock and leftover stock and interesting cases of companies that clearly got it wrong. But there's opportunity all around us. And I think John was very inspiring about this. I don't know if you want to comment on that, John, but your think big and very practical approach on Friday really blew us all away, I think.
Oh, well, thank you, Adrian. I was just on Fridays, for those of you who participate, we've got Be Heard, right? We end our week at 6 p.m. Eastern U.S. time with an open forum, and it's typically me listening and everyone else talking. And I just decided I had this idea. I wanted to ask the group about what do you think? And we don't record these, by the way. So if you're not there live, then you're out of luck. But what do you think about this example? And I brought up an example of a company, a multi-million-dollar company that went out of business, a retailer in the electronics space, which is a real dangerous water. I understand, right? I'm not in that space, but yeah, we got a lot of ideas that got kicked around, and of course, Adrian, you're brilliant, man. I think Adrian is like super genius, like Adrian. Wow, this guy's awesome. So back to you.
John, I'm afraid not. I just work hard, John. I just try and work hard. I know nothing, but I try and work hard and try and prepare.
Well, you got perspective, man.
Well,
I mean, here's
just,
the thing. You've been walking around the planet for a couple of years and observing, right? You've been observing life. And to that degree, yeah, you're a genius.
No, and I think, John, everybody in this group can do incredible things, but you've got to do it consistently. Just work on things. As you said today, you've got to gain those skills and take the small steps and enjoy them and learn on the journey, because everybody in this group, I believe, could do anything, pretty much anything. But if you fix on the target and every day move forward, then it's going to happen. I really, really believe that. I know, speaking to everybody in this group, that they can do it. I've seen so much evidence of it happening already, with people taking real action. And so I'm going to follow up on this tomorrow, John. But thanks for the great inspiration. It really, we've got to make ourselves think. I think, as you said, really, you can get into a position of stasis, comfort zone. Comfort zone's the biggest threat to anybody. You get so used to doing things, you get comfortable, and you don't want to change your clothes, jump out of the comfort zone and say, hey, there's risk out there. I'm going to take a risk. This may not work. I may not sell those 50 televisions. I'm not going to try it. I'm not going to risk it. And that's what you were getting us to think about on Friday, which I think was very, very empowering. We need more of those kind of conversations, John.
Well, good. Let's do it. That's why we're here. So thank you, Adrian. And we got, I think, one more hand up, and it is none other than our favorite Vulcan, Mr. Hunt. Hello, sir.
Reverend Lavenia, great Monday to you. You, John, you're probably the only person whom I have chosen to allow to punch me in the face on a regular basis. You've done it again today, my friend. Talking about what can we do? What high integrity actions? What can I take to a done? Right? And it reminds me that I have this particular trait to my personality, as you know. I'm very good at launching stuff. I'm very good at starting things. I'm very good at getting excited about kicking it off. Let's go! And a couple months or a couple years down the road, what was that thing I was working on before? Oh yeah, I really should get around to that, And it reminds me of a movie. Yeah, of course. No, not a Star Trek movie, believe it or not. It's a movie. It's actually a remake of a movie starring. It's a remake of a Humphrey Bogart, Audrey Hepburn movie. Sabrina. The newer version stars Harrison Ford, and his character says to another character who's like a ne'er-do-well, a playboy, his brother, and he says to him, "These 7 words are up on my wall." Well, this is not actually my wall, but if I were in my office, you'd see it's up on the wall now. Harrison Ford's character, Linus, says to David, he says, "You're a grown man, David. Finish something." And 2 things have been, one sort of finished, and the other this year. And I think I'm fairly rightfully patting myself on the back. The book is done. Wrote the book. It'll be up for sale on Amazon. We're looking at by the end of the year. So done. High five me. The other thing, I just got back from my annual physical today with the doc. And because of some changes that I've made over the past year in my lifestyle and eating habits and exercise and everything, getting ready to come off the blood pressure medication. So that's a done along the way to some other physical goals. So really for me, the thing this coming year, and thank you for the love, for the props, for this coming year, I have this whole list of very worthy ventures, very worthy projects that I've launched. And 2021, the watchwords from Mr. Henderson, finish some shit. You're a grown man, Henderson. Finish something. It's as simple as that. If I finish half the stuff I've got on my list, 2021 is going to be a frickin' monster year. You hear me? That's what I'm looking for. Finish some stuff. Get it done. That's the whole 2021 for me, John. Back to you.
Beautiful. And Glenn, congratulations on being excellent to yourself and taking care of your body. For those of you who've known Glenn almost as long as I have, you've seen, the slendering of his face. You've seen him, becoming more, I think, ostensibly vibrant and fit. That's how it appears to me. So I can see it, Glenn. And you're the only guy I know who travels with a condenser mic to a bar. So there's
yeah, that'd be me.
Right. All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and wrap up with that? How do you top that, right? Condenser mics and bars. I will be back here with you all. Y'all, we'll talk like a Texan here for a minute. We'll be back here for our e-commerce work group today at 7:30 p.m. with Stuart. Stuart he would enjoy, and he requests input. You got topics, you got questions, you're working your e-commerce business and you're looking for clarity. Let Stuart be your guide, with or without a llama. And then, of course, tonight, book study, chapter 13, Think and Grow Rich. Not a huge chapter, but definitely make sure you read that before we get together tonight. All right. I will see you guys there. Make it a great day. You absolutely deserve it.